And to start off our lesson, we're going to Genesis, the 11th chapter. You there?
Yes.
We are Genesis chapter 11, verse 27.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 27. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram.
Now it says in Genesis chapter 11, verse 27, it says that these are the generations of Terah. Now Terah is the father of Abraham. And when you read the scriptures, you know that Abraham's father Terah was an idolater. And not only was Abraham's father Terah an idolater, he was a high prince in the kingdom of Nimrod. He was one of Nimrod's high priests, or one of Nimrod's high princes within his kingdom. And that information can be found within the book of Jasher. So real quick, we're going to go into the book of Jasher and read about Abraham's father Terah, and read about how he was a high prince in the kingdom of Nimrod. And for those who may be new to the classes and haven't been into any classes prior to this one, we can go to Genesis or Joshua 10 and 13. We can go to 1 Samuel 1 and 18. To show you that the book of Jasher is actually a biblical book. It actually contains true biblical information, and it's written of within the Bible. Joshua 10 and 13.
Joshua 10 and 13. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher?
Read it again.
And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is this not written in the book of Jasher?
So it says, is this not written in the book of Jasher? So unless you have the book of Jasher, you can't read the full account of how the sun stayed still, and the Most High allowed the sun to go for a whole 24 hours in order to allow Joshua to defeat their enemies. Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 18. You can't read that full account unless you have the book of Jasher.
1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 18. Also he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher.
So once again, we can see it making a reference, or the Bible making a reference to the book of Jasher. So unless you have the book of Jasher, which is true biblical information, there's no way possible that you can read the full or get the full understanding of these accounts that it's speaking of. So let's go back. Let's go into the book of Jasher. We're going to Jasher chapter 7. We're in the book of Jasher chapter 7. We can start at verse 39.
The book of Jasher, chapter 7, verse 39. And when Nimrod had joyfully returned from battle, after having conquered his enemies, all his brethren, together with those who knew him before, assembled to make him king over them, and they placed the regal crown upon his head. And he set over his subjects and people, princes, judges, and rulers.
So this is Nimrod. We're reading about Nimrod assuming rulership and powership and assuming the position of a king. And it says that he assigned princes and he assigned captains. Read on.
And he set over his subjects and people, princes, judges, and rulers.
So it says he set over his people, princes, judges, and rulers. Who was one of these judges and rulers that was set over the kingdom of Nimrod? Read on.
As is the custom amongst kings. Verse 41. And he placed Terah, the son of Nahor, the prince of his host, and he dignified him and elevated him above all his princes.
Read that again.
Verse 41. And he placed Terah, the son of Nahor, the prince of his host, and he dignified him and elevated him above all his princes.
So it says he took Terah, which is the father of Abraham, and he elevated him over all of the princes that he had. So Terah, Nimrod's or Abraham's father, was a high prince within Nimrod's kingdom. Read on.
Verse 42. And while he was reigning according to his heart's desire, after having conquered all his enemies around, he advised with his counselors to build a city for his place, and they did so.
All right, let's sit on that. So now we have a little background history of Abraham's father and the fact that he was a high prince over Nimrod's kingdom. We have a little bit of background history on him. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 11. We have Genesis chapter 11, verse 27.
Genesis 11 and 27. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Aaron, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees.
So it says, and Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. So we see that Terah and all his children, including Abram, was born in the land of Ur of the Chaldees. Read on.
Verse 29. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah. Sarai, excuse me. And the name of Nahor's wife, Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Azkah. But Sarai was barren. She had no child.
So at this point, Sarai was barren and she had no children. We're going to read a little later, going into detail of how Sarai, whose name was later changed to Sarah, was barren at this point in time. Read on.
Verse 31. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees.
So it says at this point that Terah, which is the father of Abram, it says Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees. So at this point we can see Terah taking his children and his grandchildren and his other son's children, and he's taking them out of the land of Ur of the Chaldees. Read on.
To go into the land of Canaan.
So and it says they went to go into the land of Canaan. Read on.
And they came unto Haran and dwelt there.
So before they came into the land of Canaan, they first stopped in the land of Haran. And it says they dwelt there. Read on.
Verse 32. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran.
So it says, and the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in the land of Haran. So Terah, Abram's father, never got the chance to see the land of Canaan. Now we're going down to Genesis, the 12th chapter. And we start in Genesis chapter 12, verse 1.
Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord has said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee.
Now it says, now the Most High had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country. Now at this point in time, we can see that the country that it's speaking of is the land of Haran. It says, and from thy kindred and from thy father's house, into a land that I will show thee. Read on.
Verse 2. And I will make of thee a great nation.
And it says, I will make of thee a great nation. So not only is he telling Abram to leave his father's house, to leave the land that he's now occupying, which is the land of Haran, he's also letting Abram know that by doing so, that he will make him a great nation. Read on.
And I will bless thee, and make thy name great.
And it says he will bless Abram and make his name great. And now we know this is true because even now in this day and age, we can still go back and read stories of Abram. Read on.
And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Verse 3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee.
And it says he will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee. Read on.
And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed, as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran.
So it says Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of the land of Haran. Now once again, when you go into the book of Jasher, it lets you know that Abram stayed within the land of Haran for 3 years. So we know that when he entered the land of Haran, he was 72 years old. He stayed there for 3 years, and at age 75, he left the land of Haran. Read on.
Verse 5. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran.
So it says, and Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance they had gathered. Now at this point, we can see that both Abram and Sarai, their names haven't been changed to Abraham or Sarah at this point. Their names are still Abram and Sarai. Abram means exalted father, in Hebrew, and Sarah's name is, or Sarai means princess at this point. This is what the name Sarai means. In Hebrew, it's pronounced Sharia. Read on.
And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Morah, and the Canaanite was then in the land.
So it says when